Earlier this century, a dancer would become a legend in his lifetime, promised on his deathbed to return to Earth as a stallion. His name was Nijinsky.
At the moment, one from last, just in front of Meadowville.
He's a very fine, strong, powerful individual.
Nijinsky coming to pulverize them. Nijinsky from Sassara. And Nijinsky coming up on the outside. He's drawing up level. Lester's going to have to get at him. It's going to be a close thing.
Nijinsky is a big horse. He's very fine, yes.
Charlton is with him. Nijinsky now just coming out. And at the moment, Lester has passed him. Getting a little just behind Charlton. And an easy winner of the derby. Nijinsky the winner. Cheers, second.
In this group of horses carrying the green, lemon, and red colors of one of the richest men in the world is the most valuable horse in history. The fastest horse over a distance England has ever seen. A horse that brought together in his career England, Ireland, Canada, and the United States. A horse that in 1 year became a legend. A horse called Nijinsky. Nijinsky became the first horse for 35 years to win the 3 great races of the English Triple Crown. In September 1968, when he flew here to the Irish stables of Vincent O'Brien, he was worth the $84,000 paid for him. In 2 years, he multiplied that value by at least 77 times. And much of the credit must go to O'Brien and his staff, who have, from Tipperary, earned themselves the reputation of running one of the best racing stables in Europe. Trainer Vincent O'Brien.
There was a moment when I was definitely worried about him, again due to his temperament. But with patience and the good boys that I have here, particularly 2 good riders, they, as I say, and with patience, eventually persuaded the horse to take things a little easy and accept life as he was meant to accept it.
But this is only part of the training. For a yearling, there's much to learn. The rein, the bit, the bridle, the saddle, more than simply learning to run fast. First comes the ABC of racing, getting used to handling, obeying instructions, and here in the lunging ring, being taught the discipline of the bridle. This is what the care and patience is all about. 2 short minutes of finely tuned speed at the racetrack. The Dewhurst Stakes at Newmarket, Nijinsky's first English race, the only real test by which trainer, owner, and racing manager alike can judge whether the gamble in money, time, and planning has paid off. This was where the great partnership between Lester Piggott, the finest jockey of his day, and Nijinsky, the finest horse of his day, began. The beginning of a legend. E.P. Taylor bred Nijinsky.
Well, it'd be pretty hard to choose between Nijinsky and his sire, Northern Dancer.
Trainer Vincent O'Brien.
And I went from there to Saratoga, where I met Mr. Engelhard, and said that I'd seen the horse. He'd asked me to go specifically to see and advised me not to buy him. But I said that there is a colt there by Northern Dancer, out of Flaming Page, and I said, I think that's the horse you ought to buy. And that turned out to be Nijinsky.
And they're off. And as they start to settle down, Nijinsky is well away, so too is Interceptor on the far
This was Nijinsky's first big race, 1970. The 160-year-old 2,000 guineas run at Newmarket, where Charles II started racing in 1665. All O'Brien's planning had been directed at this race, the first race of the English Triple Crown. Run over a mile, the Guineas is a very fast race. The 2 races still to come, the Derby and the St. Leger, are much longer and therefore require stamina as well as speed. But for Nijinsky, carrying green, yellow, and red colors, this was a baptism baptism of fire, racing against some of the fastest 3-year-olds in Europe.
Yellow God on the rails, Nijinsky cruising up beside him with Amberama on the outside, coming under pressure. Huntercombe is running on quite well on the far side, but with a quarter mile to go as they run down into the dip, is Nijinsky coming through almost on a tight rein from Yellow God on this side, then Amberama, then Huntercombe, Joshua running on strongly on the far side. They're coming up the hill out of the dip now, and it's Nijinsky from Yellow God, but no danger whatever to the favourite, just having to be shaken up. Nijinsky from Yellow God, Amberama, Soleil running on right to third, at the post, Nijinsky's the winner, Yellow God second, Soleil third, then Amberama.
Nijinsky's pedigree is impeccable. He is related directly to most of the greatest horses of the century. This, for example, is the English Derby of 1933, won by his great-great-grandsire, Hyperion. This tough little horse ran under the colors of Lord Derby, whose ancestor, the 12th Earl, started the English Derby in 1780. Hyperion later became the greatest stallion of the century. Mahmoud was another great-great-grandsire. The Derby of 1936, which this grey won, still stands as the fastest time recorded at Epsom. Only his great-great-grandson, Nijinsky, has seriously challenged it, coming within less than a second 34 years later on a course which regular watering and dressing makes theoretically 5 seconds slower. The American side of his family is equally impressive. This is the 1935 Kentucky Derby, won by another great-great-grandsire, the blinkered Omaha. Omaha went on to win the American Triple Crown. Not as great an achievement as the English, for the American crown does not test both speed and stamina to the same degree, but still, a feat rarely achieved. Native Dancer, Nijinsky's grandsire, nearly won all 3, but was beaten into second place in the Kentucky Derby of 1953. Nijinsky's line also includes Nyarko, who sired 485 foals, over half of them winners. His sire, Northern Dancer, the leading all-time Canadian money winner. And Flaming Page, his dam, who with Northern Dancer also produced Minsky, currently at O'Brien's, and an early fancy for the English classics of 1971. In Nijinsky, the influence of these great horses comes together. In the King George and Queen Elizabeth Stakes, he met horses of all ages for the first time, among them Blakeney, the winner of the 1969 Derby, and Carabas, the winner in 1969 of the famous Laurel International in America. After this race, champion jockey Lester Piggott said, "He is without doubt the greatest horse I've ever ridden."
Lester Piggott cruising there on Nijinsky. He's being chased by Jeff Lewis on Blakeney, the 1969 Derby winner, but Nijinsky is going on the bit at the moment as they come to the furlong marker. It's Nijinsky going clear, the others absolutely flat out, and Blakeney under pressure, but Lester Piggott having no worries with this one at all. He's just cruising home now. He looks over his right shoulder, sees no possible danger. What manner of horse is this? Nijinsky just cantering away with the King George the Sixth and Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Nijinsky the winner, Blakeney is second. Now really only a one-horse here. This was a one-horse race. Coming to the 2 furlong now.
The Irish Sweeps Derby, 1970. Nijinsky is the only horse in history to have won this race as well as the three great English classics.
Here comes Nijinsky, positively pulling his way up towards the leader, and it's Nijinsky with Lester Piggott challenging at the same time on Meadowville. Nijinsky now is forging ahead from Meadowville, and it's Nijinsky going away from Meadowville. Master Guy's moving into third place, but striding up towards the line. It's Nijinsky clear, effortlessly clear of Meadowville in second place. Master Guy's third, and at the line, that's the result. Nijinsky the winner, Meadowville second, and Master Guy third.
The thing is to try and find out what a horse's best distance is, and normally stick to that. But then when you get a horse like Nijinsky, well, it seems that he's got to try to prove himself at all distances. I'm sure he has a best distance, but he has such class and such speed that he's going so easily through his various races that he always seems to be able to find a bit extra when required, no matter what the distance.
Does not have the highest prize money, but is perhaps the toughest race in the world to win. The Derby is the most famous of all horse races, the central event in the world's racing calendar. It is also an important event in the Queen's diary. She's a racehorse owner herself, and the sport has from the beginning had royal patronage.
Orders. They're off. Tambourine Man just a little bit slow. Long Till the first to show in front, and now Crybaby. It's Crybaby from Long Till, then Montplaisir, then Approval and Meadowville, and then Nijinsky.
It is said that only perfectly formed horses perfectly manage Tattenham Corner.
They're coming round into Tattenham Corner now and rounding the corner into the straight with 3.5 furlongs to go, and Meadowville and Long Till are the leaders. Long Till on the rails, Meadowville on the outside. Gier coming up and moving very strongly indeed on the outside of the leading three. Great Wall has burst through on the inside. Nijinsky is still there, going quite easily just behind the leaders, and Stintino is coming with a great one on the outside. With a furlong and a half to go now, it's Gier who's taking up the
The last burst of speed is one of the things the rigorous Ballydoyle routine has prepared Nijinsky for.
Make his challenge in between them, and with just 150 yards to go, is Nijinsky coming away from Gier on the far side, then Stintino, then Great Wall, then Meadowville. Is Nijinsky an easy winner of the Derby? Nijinsky the winner, Gier second, Stintino third, Great Wall fourth, Meadowville fifth, then the Swell, then Approval, then Long Till.
Few horses in history have been able to win at any distance from 6 furlongs to 1.75 miles. Each distance needs different qualities. The Triple Crown is the supreme test of greatness.
And now up comes Nijinsky with Melody Rock and Meadowville. These are the last three.
The 1970 St. Leger, the final race of the English Triple Crown.
And so any moment now, the 1970 St. Leger will be run. Under starters' orders, they're off. With Rockroy just a little bit. Rarity and Windamus are the first to show in front. Rarity and Windamus, followed by King of the Castle. Windamus is the leader from Politico, Melody Rock, Rarity, Charlton and Rockroy. Nijinsky still sitting at the back of the field with half a mile to go. Windamus on the rails, being joined now by Politico. Nothing between those two. Charlton running on very strongly now, coming up on the outside. Windamus has dropped out of it. With 3 furlongs to go, it's Politico and Charlton, with Nijinsky now moving up just behind Charlton, and Meadowville is up there on his outside with 2.5 furlongs to go. It's Politico on the rails. Charlton is with him. Nijinsky now just coming out, and at the moment Lester hasn't asked him anything at all. With 2 furlongs to go, Politico on the far rails. Charlton losing his place. Nijinsky cruising up on the outside, as smooth as silk, with a furlong and a half to go. It's Nijinsky cruising into the lead from Politico, and followed by Meadowville now in third place, and then Charlton 150 yards to go, and this great horse striding home Nijinsky from Meadowville, challenging strongly on this side. Politico on the far side, at the post is Nijinsky the winner. Meadowville second, Politico third, Charlton fourth, Rockroy fifth, Rarity sixth, Melody Rock seventh, then Windamus, and finally King of the Castle.
Longchamp, the hippodrome in the heart of Paris. A capacity crowd to see Britain's greatest horse run in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, coming to be regarded as the most prestigious race in the world. The prizes are huge, so it attracts the best horses of all ages in Europe.
There's no certainty in a horse race. I mean, they could all be donkeys and still something could go wrong, you know, that would stop him winning the race. Something fall down in front of him and he'd fall over it. today probably is his greatest test.
Of course, this race today, I mean, you have horses of all ages.
Only 4 left to go. Nijinsky is to go, Gir is to go, Golden Eagle is to go, and Grandier to go. Now Nijinsky is in, now Golden Eagle, and there's just Grandier to go, and the 15 runners installed, and they'll be off any second now for the 49th Arc de Triomphe, and this is it. And they're off, and the first to show is Golden Eagle, and then Soyer, and Nijinsky still only got 3 behind him, and they're racing down the hill now. Then La Bijoute on the inside, and Lester Piggott moving towards the outside on Nijinsky, sitting very comfortably at the moment, although he's got a lot to do. They've got 3 furlongs to run now in the Arc de Triomphe, and they're racing up towards the line now, and Nijinsky coming on the stand side with a tremendous run, and it's Nijinsky coming to pulverize, and Nijinsky from Saffara, and Nijinsky and Lester Piggott from Saffara, Nijinsky and Saffara, it's a photo finish, it's a photo finish between Nijinsky and Saffara, with that third sheer fourth, then comes Beauchamp.
He was beaten afoot, ostensibly on merit. At first, my first reaction is perhaps he might not have had the best of luck in running. He looked for an opening. It took him 50, 75 yards to find it. He also hung away from the whip in the last 100 yards, either of which manoeuvres could have cost him the foot by which he was beaten.
And Gir making ground on the inside now, and it's Misterno in the lead from Gir, and then comes Saffra in the centre of the course. They're racing up towards the line now, and Nijinsky coming on the stand side with a tremendous run, and it's Nijinsky coming to pulverize, and Nijinsky from Saffra.
Bull Hancock at Who's Farm in Kentucky. Nijinsky now stands at stud.
In comes Saffra in the centre of the course. They're racing up towards the line now, and Nijinsky coming on the stand side with a tremendous run, and it's Nijinsky coming to...
There was no doubt that he was the best horse in the Arc. Form, I think, proved that conclusively. But the Arc, over the years, has proved a funny race, as the results have shown, and a hard race to win.
Newmarket, October 1970. The heath at Newmarket, where racing started and where Nijinsky began his career, is to see also his last race, the Champion Stakes. Great horses do much good to racing. Man of War and Kelso in America, Brown Jack, Golden Miller, and Arkle in Britain. Nijinsky was in the same class. He drew the biggest crowd the course has seen since the war, and not for 35 years has a flat horse been applauded down to the start, as Nijinsky was that day.
On Champion Stakes Day, in his last race, it was obvious in the parade, out on the course, that he had had too much of it. He hadn't shown it before in the walking ring, before the jockeys got out. He was perfectly happy, relaxed, himself. But once he saw the crowds milling around and had to get out there on the course and the cheering, clapping, it all just became too much for him. The whole thing was too long, the year, the tension, everything, and I think it just makes sense, doesn't it? People go over the top of the hill just like horses.
Mr. Piggott agrees.
Well, in the Champion Stakes, there was a hell of a crowd milling around him all the time, and I think he just about had enough. It was worse than he'd ever been, really, at Newmarket.
Stop loading. Come on, the others, hurry up now. All in, come on.
And they're off. And Lorenzaccio, the first to show. Lorenzaccio in the black with the white chevron, white cap, Hotfoot on the outside of that, then Faraway Sun, then comes Highest Hope, Sweet Mimosa from Ireland, then Nijinsky with two behind it, and the two behind it are Dictus, and finally Locris, the two of the Frenchmen. And now they've gone a furlong and a half, and it's Lorenzaccio in the lead from Faraway Sun, Hotfoot, Highest Hope.
I don't know, it's just one of those things that any horse can get beaten in any race. There is no certainty in the game.
And so, Nijinsky, in defeat, became a legend. In 5 months, he had written himself into the record book of racing, syndicated as a stallion at over $5 million, the most valuable horse in racing history. The horse that brought the English, French, and Irish public crowding to the racetracks. The fastest horse over a distance in England since the war. The horse we will probably see again only in his children. The horse called Nijinsky.